There we go. Now I can hear things. Hello, family. Nice to have you here. Super excited about our special guest today. Oh, look at that pretty face.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
Can you hear
You
me?
are such a blessing. Yes, I sure can.
Perfect.
Oh, what? There's a Jarvis, there's a Yount, there's a Nielsen. This is going to be a good webinar today. I have to go into this other room to do these, so I put a fake background so it looks like I'm at my desk.
Wow, you got a chroma key there. Pretty cool.
That way it looks like I'm sitting at my desk even though I'm in another room. Well, happy Thursday, everybody. We're getting prepared in case we work from home one day a week. So this way when we're doing webinars on our days that we work from home, it'll still feel like we're there.
Very cool.
Well, we're getting a few people on. We'll wait just a few more minutes to let everyone get started. Hey, Verna. See you saying hi to everybody. We got a bunch of Cali in the house. That's always good. I'm drinking my Repair because Piero has been kicking my butt. They said, get a personal trainer. It'll be fun. And it is, but I can barely walk sometimes. Mark came in on Tuesday. He came in right at the end of my workout, and I was doing arms. And I had to stay for a minute, even though I had a call, because I was shaking so bad, and I drive a Standard. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I could do this. Canada. Miss Vina, we got her in the house. We got Mr. Spears here, getting the crew on board. Lucky Thursday. Let's see. Vina's so sweet. All right, Peter, if you want to go ahead and kick this thing off.
I first want to say, yeah, thank you, Adriel, for all that you do. You, like I always say, without you, I'd be pretty lost. So thank you so much. And for everybody, that is tuning in today, happy Thursday, every Thursday at this same time. On the same Zoom, we do this Zurvita, community chat. It's part of our Zurvita Pledge. And for people that may be just tuning in for the first time, over the course of the years, we found out that truly people want to win at every level. And that's one of our founding principles. And when you take a pledge, a declaration, and you truly make that commitment between yourself and God, something happens when you speak it. You either speak life or death. And so we are just overwhelmed by just the success, the testimonies, and each and every one of you. So to truly plug into our Zurvita Pledge, if you have not and you're visiting because a friend invited you here, go to zurvita.com/pledge and just submit your declaration that you're making a commitment, you're making a covenant. There is no plan B. Failure is not an option. And you're going to make a commitment to be that best version of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. And we have some of the best products that you can plug into to help expedite. And then you get invited to a Facebook group. And then every Monday, I do a motivational Monday. Tuesday, we have exercises. You'll have a macronutrient meal plan, whether it's for a man or a woman on a fitness level that you're at. And it's really all about wherever you are, you can truly move forward, get unstuck. And today we have pretty amazing guests. And the first one I had a chance to to visit in Ohio with her husband, Holli Yount, and they just blew up our Zurvita Transformation System. I just want to say that the both of them are just a perfect example of just a culture, in my opinion, of Zurvita. They're very humble and they work well together. It's like 1 and 1 equals a million. And I was able to visit there, and it was because out of the whole country, they basically sold the most amount of transformation systems. And without further ado, I have Holli on the line here. And, I guess my question, Holli, is, getting to know you and your husband and becoming part of his men's group. I stayed there on Sunday. I felt that God led me to, I didn't have all the answers, but I stayed there, and so many men showed up, and every single person that was there wanted to better themselves as a father, as a community leader, as a husband. So it was just a beautiful time in Ohio. I thank you for all that you guys do. Why do you think that you and your husband truly just set Ohio on fire?
Now, okay, I think I'm unmuted now.
We hear you.
It does feel so strange not to have my better half with me. We always do everything together. It seems so strange that he's not here. But I think, there's so many reasons why I don't necessarily believe that it's Jamie and I setting Ohio on fire. I believe that it's God using us and using, our team to really just run with this transformation, run with the transformation system, really run with Zurvita as a whole company. And, I think there's a few things in play. First of all, we truly, genuinely, we love people. We just love people. And when you love people, you build relationships with them. When you build relationships with people, you get to know them, and you get to know what their struggles are. You get to know what, their health struggles are. You get to know personal struggles. And we believe that we really have an opportunity to help them in every single area of their life. And I think that that's something so special about Zurvita. And I know you're going to hear from Mark Jarvis here in a second. What an honor I get to, talk before he does. But I mean, him and Tracy set this company up in that way that we can win at every level. It doesn't just say a few levels or just, in your health and wellness, but every level. We can, everyone can win here at every single level. And I think that that's exactly what Zurvita offers. And just being able to build those relationships with people and help them understand that it's what we're a part of here is bigger than self. It's much bigger. But it starts with, us as individuals all deciding with a decided heart to take that pledge, to really just say, you know what, it starts with me. I'm going to take the pledge. I want to be better in all areas of my life. And I know you shared the other day, Peter, about the difference between a commitment and a covenant. And I love that because when you think of the word pledge, for example, I had never necessarily taken a pledge before in my life, taken lots of challenges. I'm committed to lots of things. But a pledge, there's just something special about that word. And you bring in that word covenant, it's almost like, burn the boats. There's no going back. It's like, we're going to commit to doing this for ourselves. Number one, as leaders in any area of your life, you have to start with yourself first. And for Jamie and I, we believe that's in our four walls, in our home. It starts with us as, a couple that, is honoring and glorifying the Lord. And then, in our marriage, in our parenting, and then we can get outside of that into our community and with our friends, and now with Zurvita. And just starting with us and leading from the front. When we came here and we discovered there's a transformation system, and then we ordered it and we got this awesome booklet, and you turn to the page number 3 or page number 4, and it says right there, the Zurvita True Transformation Pledge. And we just decided we were going to take that ourselves. And we wrote our names in the blank. We said the pledge, and we, even had the boys do it with us. And every day we get up and we say this as a family. And, the next thing was, because we're leading by example, we went to our team and said, hey guys, we're doing this. Like, we're on board for this. We want you to be on board for this with us. Better together, always. Everything, it's just better shared with your friends. And, we explained to them, this is about a mind, body, and soul. It's not just about getting healthy. It's the whole thing together. And we encourage them to do that with us too. And then we just said, you know what, we're going to go share good things with good friends. And that's exactly what we do. We start with the transformation. When we're talking to someone, we're bringing them into this community. We're introducing Zurvita to them. We start with the transformation system. We say, man, this is the best bang for your buck. This is the way to get after this. Get on these specific group of products. We're going to put you in this awesome community. You're going to have support and encouragement and love, and we're going to help you every single step of the way. And we start there with the transformation. And then if people are not on board with the transformation, we work backwards. We say, okay, the transformation, let's talk about that. Why won't that work for you? Maybe it's it's not in your budget, and we can work backwards with that. And I mean, worst case scenario here, we get you started on Zeal. And you know what? You're going to be amazing just taking Zeal for sure, right? And so that's kind of like what we do, just love on people, introduce them to the community, make them feel like they belong, because they do, everybody matters, and then introduce this amazing system to them. But not just that, encouraging them to take that pledge, that covenant with themselves, because it has to start with you before you can then, share with others. You have to lead by example. So maybe a long-winded answer, but that's kind of my take.
No, and I received that, and I'm sure everyone else has. I've had a chance to really see the both of you in action. And I said to your husband, I said, if you guys lived in the same state, after hearing his testimony, I mean, the guy is closer to 7 foot than 6 foot, and yet he's this gentle giant. And his testimony parallels so unbelievably with mine, with the father and the drinking, and the way he looks at you, it lifts the bar on matrimony. You can see it coming from his heart. You can see his remorsefulness on some of the things in the past. And as God says, I forgive you from as far as the east is to the west. So he has this new beginning, this new start. My question before we hand it off to our co-founder, Mark Jarvis, is for the people that are out there that possibly feel like they're doing it by themselves, and they have a significant other under the same roof, but sometimes they're almost embarrassed to even share it, or like it just works with you guys. So for a couple that are doing it together, how does it work? Because sometimes there's that yin yang where it's like, you can be great lovers, great friends, but don't mess with my business, because then you got power trips and stuff. So like for the people that are listening, how do you guys just mesh together? Like where I said in the beginning, 1 and 1 is like a million.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a great question. And, just a small backstory. I've known Jamie practically my whole life. I met him when I was 9 years old. I am 44, he's 46. We grew up together. So we have a lot of history there. And, when we first started working together 10 years ago, and just being very transparent, Jamie would always say, if I was a dude, we'd probably be in battle every single day, because we are very, very similar. We're very similar personalities. We're both very driven. We have, ideas and goals, and we're both very passionate. And those are great qualities to have. But sometimes when you put two people together like that, you can butt heads. And it has been a journey. We had to learn to work together and respect one another. I think that is such a huge word, and not just for, you know, ladies to respect their husbands, but likewise husbands to respect their ladies. And what we found was we both have certain strengths and we both have certain weaknesses. And we kind of came to an agreement, you know, after working together, communicating what worked for us and what did not work for us. For example, this is just a quick example. Jamie used to do calls on the phone introducing, you know, the products to someone and, you know, the company, and I would be there right beside him. And I am a pretty fired up person. I can get very fired up very easily. I'm very excitable. I think, you know, I'm kind of the visionary, like, let's just do it. We don't have to worry about how, let's just get it done and let's do it. And although Jamie is like that too, he's more practical, thank goodness. And he's just more like, okay, let's think about this. But he used to do calls and I literally would write on paper, like the things he needed to ask the person and what to say. And I'd slide it over to him and I'd be like, and one day, Jamie, and he never told me that he didn't like that. So I didn't know that that was being disrespectful to him because he didn't communicate that to me. And one day on the phone, he was talking to someone and he very politely said, you know what? I think my wife wants to talk to you. He handed me the phone and I was like, well, okay, I'll do that. And I carried on the conversation, and it's a funny story between us because the person got started and Jamie's like, that kind of backfired. But we had a discussion because then he said, you know, that makes me feel really bad. That makes me feel like I can't do what I need to do. And we got to talk about this. And we just communicated. And I realized that was very disrespectful and rude to him because, I mean, he is my hero. And he, you know, not only have I married him and trusted him to run our entire family and lead us, goodness gracious, I also had to trust him in this as well. And so, you know, if you're a very strong woman and you're working with your husband, it's okay to say, you know what, I've trusted my husband with all these other areas. I can certainly trust him in this business too. And just communicating together what works. And then the same for Jamie. I mean, I could spend a month of Sundays on here telling you all the things that we have went through together, and him maybe saying some things that I didn't like, and me just being able to have a calm conversation, because I think sometimes our emotions are liars and we can get all worked up. And so we have an agreement that we calm down before we come together. And then when we come together, we share our hearts in love. And one thing that he has done so well, and I'm so appreciative of this, and probably this is my biggest piece of advice if you're working together as a couple building this. The one thing he does so very well is when he disagrees with me, he always says this first. He always says, you know, Holly, I really love you. And then he tells me his disagreement. And in the beginning, he would do this and it would automatically soften my heart. But then I started to kind of catch on to what he was doing. So it kind of aggravated me. And I was like, don't do that to me. I know this means you're going to disagree with me. But over time, that's the place you have to start. You know what? I love you. But let's talk about this. Let's work through this. And I think the number one thing you have to have in life is communication. You have to be willing to communicate your thoughts and your feelings to one another, because then you can work on growing together. Because I will tell you this, when there's tension, people can feel it. People you're talking to can feel it. People in the room can feel it. People that you're on the phone with can feel that there's tension. Body language, you can look at that and see right away people that mesh together and don't. So it can really affect more, you know, it can affect your business, but clearly it affects your relationship and your marriage. And no business, you know, nothing out there is more important than your relationship. And so just learning what works for you, maybe what you're good at, your strengths, what your partner's good at, their strengths, and then coming together and working together. And just know that, you know what, sometimes you're just not going to get your way, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. You know, every day that you argue with someone is a day that you lose in your life. You know, Jamie's my very best friend in the whole world, and we're not perfect, and we have arguments. We're passionate people, so we have arguments. But at the end of the day, it's like, wow, that was a whole bunch of wasted nonsense. You're my very best friend and I love you. It's just not worth it. So I don't know if that's kind of what you want.
Well, we all receive that, and we just are so happy that you're part of our Zurvita family. We constantly pray for people in Ohio, all over the country, but we just know that you're just great examples of humble leaders. And tell your husband I said hello, and thank you for being on this call.
Thank you guys. Love y'all.
You know, the next person that we're going to introduce is a special guest today. And it's the reason why I'm sitting here. Literally, you know, going back, it's crazy, almost 9 years ago, I was invited by someone who was part of the company at the time. And I flew to Houston, not knowing Zurvita and not knowing Mark and Tracy Jarvis or Jay Schaefer. And I sat down for 2 days, and I remember not talking so much about business or dollars, but talking about the mission statement, talking about the vision, talking about on how they truly wanted to change the world by loving on people and their founding principles. I got on the plane, and I actually didn't take an attorney. I took my spiritual dad, who's been a pastor for 58 years. And he said, so what do you think? And I got emotional, and I just said, I feel like God is calling me here. And I says, I don't have all the answers. And he says, you don't need all the answers. He says, you got to walk in faith. Zurvita has changed the course of my life. It has broadened not only Zurvita's ministry, but my ministry on what God has called me to do. The man that I'm about to introduce, he is just solid. He's humble. He's just an amazing man that wherever he goes, all he wants to do is help people. And that is just one of his callings in life. I define a successful man by not the money he has in the bank, but by how he loves his wife, how he loves his children, how he helps the community, and how he truly lifts his co-workers or employees. And that is Mark Jarvis. And without further ado, we have a special guest, the co-founder of Zurvita, Mark Jarvis. And Mark, you know, I think I want you to start, first of all, I love you, you know that, but what vision did you have with Tracy and with Jada to start something that is bigger than all of us? We don't hear you. Do we hear it?
It doesn't have you muted. That's weird.
Stand by.
Is your computer plugged in to a headset? I do that every week. If I mute him.
What about the audio on the computer, maybe?
He does Zooms all the time.
There is an enemy in this world, and he is trying not to have Mark speak right now, and we rebuke that in Jesus' name.
Do you think you could log in on your phone? All right, he's gonna try that.
Okay.
I speak Jarvis, I can read his lips.
But you know, while Mark is getting ready, I've never seen an individual get in front of thousands of people and just open up his heart the way that he does. And talk about a visionary person. talk about a person that truly has a vision on what he wanted to do. It's pretty mind-boggling, to say the least. And I remember our first event that we did. It was first event that I was at. It was in California, and we had like, you know, about 120 people, and we were freaking out. It was just like 120 people. And we had maybe like 40 people that were like the leaders and ambassadors and different things. And here we are, thousands of people come from all over the world to truly, you know, and I always feel like when the message is hope, people will come. And that's what I feel is what we do, is we give people hope so that you can truly win on whatever level you're on. And Mark has such an ability to connect with people.
I agree. I think one of my favorite things, well, I have a lot of favorite things about working at Zurvita, but being able to, even like the time when I was pulled, when I wasn't in marketing, when I was pulled out of marketing, I was able to work directly for Mark and Tracy. It was a really great opportunity for growth for me, to teach me about, you know, like Holli was saying, about respect and about listening, and just like kind of sitting in back and observing and being able to take in a lot more. I think I kind of really grew and matured a lot under both of them, and being able to really hear a lot of wisdom in sometimes just listening, right? We don't listen enough. We like to talk over people. We like to tell them what we think that they need to know, instead of listening to what they're trying to say to us. And I think that's a big problem, not just like in our industry, but I think that's become a big problem in our society, with like our social thinking, like, well, I'm just going to tell you what you need. We're going to present this. We're going to do this. We've lost our ability to just sit and listen and be present. Last weekend, I locked my phone in the office here. My phone case has like my key card underneath it. So I dropped it and the door closed, and I was like, no. And the security couldn't get me in, maintenance couldn't get me in, nobody could get me in. And so I went, Mauricio was nice enough to come up and grab it so it didn't get stolen. But he had family stuff, and I didn't have a way to get a hold of him after I was not with my best friend Chelsea anymore. So he had my phone for 2 days. I came back to like a lot of fun pictures from the Rodriguez family. And it taught me, it was just really funny, like I had to show up and hope my friends were still going to be at the place where we decided we were going to meet. It was like being in college again, you know, back in like 2000. And being able to really show up, but it was cool. Like the whole time we're hanging out, I was there. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't working. I wasn't posting stuff. I wasn't like, look at all this food, look at us doing these things. Like I was there, I was present, I was accountable to them who I was there to spend time with. And it was a really nice break to be able to, I don't know, realize how dependent we've become on not listening, but hearing. There is, do you remember the movie? What's up here?
Excuse me, what's the password for the Zoom here? It's for,
we don't have a password.
What's the ID?
But the ID is 959
959 114, is it?
116
116
461.
461. There we go. No, but I totally agree. And what I will say on what you're just saying is, you know, here my whole life, you know, I never worked with anyone. I had, you know, my health clubs, and here I was the product. And what I learned from Zurvita and from Mark and stuff is not only to pay it forward, to pay it forward. And it's not about me, it's about we. And, you know, it's so very important. I feel like the culture of what we do is, it's not about shining the light on us. It's about being a beacon of light to shine on other people so that they could heal and they could grow. Are you able to connect him?
Well, it's not me needing to connect.
Oh.
I keep looking for a new thing, but.
Okay. We apologize. Technical problems live.
Yay, technology. So I was gonna ask, so when the NBA got shut down last night, which was crazy to me. Oh, all sports are shut down right now. But it reminded me, did you ever see the movie White Men Can't Jump?
Yes.
It's a really good movie, but there's this thing he's talking about, like, well, in the case, it was like he was telling him he couldn't listen to something because of his race, right? But that's really not what this is. He was like, you can hear him, but you can't listen to him. Like you don't understand what he's saying. You're just hearing what he's saying. You're not actually understanding it. And that's what I was saying. Like we do that. We hear things, then we process it however we feel like we want to process it instead of how they mean it a lot of times, which is never real fun.
I think we even do that with God, or at least I have, where you feel like you're spending alone time with God, and we get to the point where we think we hear what he's saying, and we cut him off. Think about it. We literally cut our creator off, and then we go out and we try to conquer the world. and then when we have to go around the mountain for the 40th time, God is saying in his amazing, humble, majestic way, that's not what I was saying. If you just closed your mouth. Okay, so you're on, and he's on, and now what he needs to do is he needs to join. Okay.
He's dialing in.
He's dialing in.
Sorry, guys. Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, absolutely. And it brings to mind, if I could, every day that we get up, we have plans, and a lot of times those plans go sideways, and it's how we respond to those plans in life that truly create our destiny one way or the other. It's like the road rage syndrome. It's like, are you going to allow someone or something to steal your joy? Are you going to allow someone or something to truly steal your peace? We have patience, and
Wait, let's see. Can we hear you, Mark?
Can you hear me?
yes.
Hey, okay. Well, I had, I just did a Zoom yesterday. I've never had Tracy's had an issue with her computer, but I've never had one with mine. So, well, thank you. Hey, thank you for having me, and obviously, appreciate your kind words, Peter, and also enjoyed listening to Holly on the call. So I apologize that it did not work out, but I think, Peter, you'd asked me about starting a company, and we really didn't set out to start a company. We were actually trying to cure some things that were wrong with the company we were with. And 2 years before Zurvita, before we'd ever met any investor of any kind, we came out with the 3 founding principles, and it was all about providing hope for the people that were. It was almost like the children of Israel was kind of in Egypt, and we were trying to provide a home in a different environment for people to be in than where they were. And it was, it wasn't until really and truly a couple instances where we knew that God was telling us to walk away from literally a couple $1 million a year in order to start from scratch Zurvita. And, you know, when we made that decision, we also, you know, there were two different kind of people that were pursuing us to invest in us starting a company. One was the company that Jay worked for, and the other was another company that the owners of Stations Furniture out of Dallas. But we just kind of knew we were at the right place, and fell in love with Jay, and you know, just really wanted to provide a different. We felt like corporations did not get quite, you know, quite what it was all about to be in the field. So we really wanted to do something so that we could build a company for the field, by the field. And that's really what was the heart behind it. But, you know, winning at every level is important. I love what we're doing today in the pledge. I have to tell you, before we came out, we started out without different products that were not nutrition, and nobody had a struggle with their weight more than I did. I always say, so I would literally take stacks of clothes to the dry cleaners and say, you know, let out 2.5 inches to all the pants, and they would say, well, you know, do you want us to measure you? I says, no, because it changes so much every week, it doesn't really matter. I said, I just, you know, and that was my attitude. And, you know, I fought through things. And then I looked up and felt like the Lord was putting us into the nutrition business. And part of that vision was because of another product that Tracy and I took for 20 years was a powder product. And that was really the vision of ZIL, had a lot to do with that. And we wanted something that was simple, that would take out, you know, the guesswork from people. And we just kind of ran with it. We didn't, nobody on the board knew we were doing it. We just kind of launched into nutrition, and it was really a roll of the dice. Nothing else seemed to be working. And, you know, then I started having to look at my own health. I'm like, man, I can't be, you know, I can't be blowing up like crazy all the time and be on stage as, you know, as a founder of the company. And, you know, I mean, obviously then we didn't have Jay was not as involved back then. So it was like, okay, if we're really the main people in this thing, you know, wasn't a problem for Tracy, but it was definitely a problem for me. Is I got to get on the right path. And, you know, Peter had a lot of fun with me in the beginning when we started on weight transformation stuff. And, but I want to share with you, there was one thing that turned things around for me that, that really kind of put it into what I call my vicious cycle of weight gain and weight loss. Okay. And that was a year that, I told Tracy, now I said I was going to do it every day for the rest of my life, but I did do it every day, but 5 days that year. I said, I'm going to do a minimum of 10 minutes of cardio every single day. It didn't matter if I golfed, it didn't matter if I lifted weights, it didn't matter if we were in Nicaragua, I would jog in place. But I said, I'm not going to miss any. And I started basically Thanksgiving Day that year. And there was only 5 days during that time that I didn't do that the entire year. And that was the first year in my life that I didn't have, I had very little fluctuation in my weight. And, you know, I think the reason that's important is that, you know, we always talk about putting people in a position in life where they can have progress. Okay. If you're going to have progress, you have hope. And if you have hope, okay, then you have faith for the future. So, you know, so progress. So I just went on that. We started going to a nutritionist, and they started talking about making better bad choices. I wasn't ready to make just all good choices. But what happened was all of this, what I call the daily disciplines, okay, equaled results, okay? Now, anybody with any common sense will tell you, well, you're not really going to get in a lot of shape by exercising just 10 minutes. But if you do it every day, and every day you're committed to it no matter what, then guess what? Then comes the 45-minute workouts, okay? Then comes the doing or reading, you know, in our Bible. And I don't think that I've missed that daily discipline in probably, I don't know, maybe even a couple of years, or missed a day of that discipline. So it's, you know, finding things that you can do that is progress that you can commit to. I was a world-class, you know, I'm going to do it all or nothing starting on Monday. So on Sunday, I'd eat enchiladas, I'd eat burgers, I'd eat biscuits and gravy, because tomorrow's going to be a great day. Tomorrow I start I always tell people, I gained more weight the day before diet than I ever lost on any diet. You know, diets don't work, okay? And so that's what I love about this pledge in the transformation is it allows people to enter in and to get on a path of progress. And you, as a person that's doing this as a business, you know, understand this, that it's the little things. People drinking a little bit more water. That's always been a battle for me. Drink 8 ounces more than you're drinking right now, okay? Because I always try to tackle it with, man, I get the big jugs, and it's like, man, I can't do that. And I can't do that because when I do that, I'm like in the restroom all day long. Okay. So it was like, okay, well, let's just increase it by 8 ounces a day. And then once you get there and you're there, then maybe do it 8 ounces more. So I'm a big believer in progress. I think that the heart of the company is about progress for people. You know, I think that was always Tracy and I's strength when we were in the field. And I think, you know, as leaders in the company is, you know, we try to build a culture where as long as you're progressing, and we build relationships with people that are progressing, okay? Not the people that have arrived, okay? Now you can arrive and you can be super successful, and you can be on the physical side, a bodybuilder, but it's what are you doing to progress in life from where you're sitting at today? And so we just have a passion for that. And it's at any level. I mean, we work with people at every level, as much today as we did when we were, you know, new in the business world, trying to, you know, make our first $1,000. It's, you know, and I believe the key to success is that we never lost the passion of the experience of one new person going, wow, I actually can do this. And when you can keep that passion, great things are going to come your way. So, you know, we just never lost that passion, Peter. And we started the company for a safe place that people could come in and grow and be the best that they can be. And that's where winning at every level is such an important, you know, the honor and glorify God speaks for itself. Okay. That means don't overreact. Don't go crazy. I mean, even though sometimes we have to ask for forgiveness when we do, you know, but have grace for people. Okay. Do what you say you're going to do. That's honor and glorifying God. Humble leadership is don't always understand, you know, it's only by the grace of God that we are where we're at. I always tell people that only thing I know it's great. There's only one thing great in me. And, you know, and it's the only thing that I'll brag on is that's Jesus. Okay. That's the only thing that's great in me. and then win at every level. Okay, it is important. So,
Mark, in listening to you, I remember for years now, one of the things that, that one of the things that I got a nugget is that you and Tracy never spoke doubt. No matter how hard it was, whether it's in business or in life, you never spoke doubt. So for people that, there's a lot of companies out there, there's a lot of competition. So for some people that maybe they're looking at Zurvita, they like the posts on social media, they may have even tried the product, they like the product, but they're still, on that fence of basically like saying, should I do this? Should I not? And you and I know that it's even biblical. You're either all in or get out. So why would someone want to invest their time and efforts into Zurvita? And why is it so important to not be double-minded or double-spirited by talking junk and going into the weeds? Because you live that. No matter how much fire is beneath us, you're like so positive and so calm. And I know that you allow the Holy Spirit to dwell in you. So for people that are looking to make a decision and maybe haven't, why Zurvita?
Well, it's number one, you have to feel, I believe you have to feel called to do it. And it is a place, with what we have in place today, okay? It's, number one, it's a real simple path, okay? And, it's very easy to understand. First off, get results on the product, right? Get some results on the transformation system. Then the second thing is, you yourself, you've got a journey of getting your product for free. Then you've got a journey of making $500 to $600 part-time in a business that's helping people. So it becomes a social thing. It's all you're doing is you're putting yourself in an environment where you're forced, okay, into progress, and you're forced into believing progress for others. And when you put yourself in that kind of positive state of, hey, I'm making progress, you can make it. It don't matter who you are, where you come from, that if you can be in an environment where people are moving ahead, boy, life comes on you. I watch too many people, walk around with, I call, dry bones. In other words, they're alive, but they're dead. And this is a biblical about bringing life into these bones. And that puts you in a position to do that. Now, when you do that, okay, when you grow and you get other people to grow, it's going to be life changing. And literally, within 1 year of you doing that, and you don't have to do it crazy, you don't have to do it big, it's all part-time stuff. But if you really understand your business as being a positive influence on other people's lives, if you understand that's the business that you're in, and you won't even recognize the person you become in 12 months, because that's what your business is. So, to be a leader, to answer the call of leadership means to be a positive influence to people, to influence people in a positive direction. And, most of the time where people fail in this business is they get in and they get influenced by the people, they get influenced by the negativity instead of them being the influence to somebody else for, the positive stuff.
I just want to thank you for all that you do. I want to thank you for your leadership, for Tracy. The two of you together are just a dynamic duo. And the way that you guys live your lives and constantly pay it forward and put other people first, I just, It's just a beautiful thing. You've enriched so many people's lives, including mine. What would be the take-home message, Mark, for today? You know, here we are. There's people every day that are signing up for our Zurvita Pledge. We give them the tools and the support. We have Elevate, where you're going to be at. Jay's going to be, all these humble leaders, Brad, Mary, Kirby Wright, and his wife on March 19th at Hotel Zaza, which is a Thursday from 9 to 5. Why is it important maybe for people that want to learn more about the business to be there?
Well, it's number one, people only follow people that are going somewhere, right?
Right.
I mean, it's, you know, it's nobody's really interested in joining Zurvita, and nobody is, you know, interested in your product, okay? What people are interested in is you. And the more that you have a vision of, hey, this is where you're going, and here's the avenue that you picked to go there with, you know, which is Zurvita and their products, okay, the more that people are going to respond to you. The information about the company and the product and great leadership, that doesn't mean one thing to most of the people you're talking to. The only thing that counts is, why are you doing it? Okay. So if you have an opportunity to get around leaders, especially in a smaller setting, like Elevate is going to be probably the smallest setting that you can ever get around that many people with that much influence. And the reason that's important is because the closer you can connect yourself to the vision of where the company's going, and this is going to be a huge time to be a part of Elevate. What I'm excited about Elevate is that it's put together by the field. Okay. Too many times in a nice office, you know, and I've been part of that, decide what everybody wants to learn when they actually don't have an idea. They don't always have the answers. I'll just say that. I didn't always have the answers on what I thought everybody should learn. Okay. Neither does the corporate team that we have today. But when you have the influence of the field, they know what you go through on a day-to-day basis. So you got Brad, you got Kirby and Cindy, you got these other leaders that are going to be involved in putting together the agenda. It's what you're going through. Okay. So you're going to be closer to the vision of the company, which is what you need to have. Okay. In order, you can't go further than the company. So you got to figure out what's the vision, so that when you speak from an authority, as an authority on the subject, that this is where the company's going. And the only reason you know that is because you're attached to it. So you could be in the business for one day, or you could be a Crown ambassador. It doesn't matter. You're going to be better off because you go to Elevate than you are if you don't. You know, and we understand travel plans. We understand, you know, some people far away, it's tough to get there for a day event. You know what? That's all great, but just know there is the advantage that people have when they go to an event. You're not, you know, can you do the business if you don't go to the event? Of course you can. But just know that if you're at the event, you're getting another shot in the arm. You're getting a dose of what I call effectiveness in your business right there on the spot. So it's going to be a great, you're going to see a lot of people come together as a result of Elevate.
Well, I just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day. And I want to also just say, you know, it is important to believe in the people that do have the vision. It is important to see a person live it, sleep it, and breathe it, become a product of the product, become a walking billboard. And I know for a fact, including myself, many people are in this culture of Zurvita because of you and your wife and Jay. And I just, I keep you guys in my prayers every day, that God just puts a hedge of protection around you and perseveres you and truly calls you to continue to help as many people on this planet. So I love you. I will see you in a few days, and thank you for taking the time today.
All right. Love you and love all of you. So thank you for having me, Peter.
Great.
All right.
Well, what a great call, you know, and like I said before, you know, a lot of times things don't go exactly the way you want. And a lot of times the enemy will try to get in your ear and say, you're not worthy, you can't do this. Mark Jarvis is not going to get on this call to basically give a great message. And the enemy is a liar. He is beneath us. And it was a great call today. So again, everyone, you know, I just want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today for our Zurvita community chat. It's every single Thursday at 2 o'clock Central Time. And also, if you have not gone to zurvita.com/pledge, what are you waiting for? You're going to have the tools and the support. You'll be invited to social media. You'll have truly everything that you need, from our products to nutrition, to meal plans, to recipes, to workouts. We love each and every one of you. Keep believing. Have a wonderful week. I'm looking forward to seeing many of you next week, next Thursday. I'm looking to make new friends as well as see old friends. I'm going to hand it back to you, Adriel, and thank you for all you do.
Hey, so on what Mark was saying with daily disciplines, he had us read, or the whole company read in general, the book, what was it? Oh my gosh, sorry, someone logged off and it freaked me out. So he had us read The Compound Effect, we read it as a company, and it was really, really helpful. It teaches you about like those baby steps, right? Taking little steps here and there. And that can be for your business, that can be in a relationship, that can be in your health. You know, when Scott was first starting this journey, he had a goal to get to his stop sign, right? And then he hit that goal. So then he set another goal to get, you know, up the hill to his church, and now he's walking more. You can make small steps, like you can have a large goal of where you want to go and put milestones, which are your daily disciplines. What are you going to do today that you can continue tomorrow? And then you start doing it and add smaller ones in there and there. And that's something that you really should work on. It really helped me. I know when we went through it, I gave up having a car for a few years so I could pay off debts. I got my credit up and was able to buy the car that I prayed for, exact same car that I prayed for diligently. And I don't think that if I hadn't grasped onto that and understanding, like putting myself into check and making myself be disciplined and responsible for my own actions, my own life, my own health, that I would have been able to get to some of the places that I am. And then I also wanted to encourage you, since tomorrow is Free Share Friday, to put in what is your daily discipline. What's the first step that you're going to start trying to do to get to whatever next goal, whether it's a new rank, it's a weight loss, it's a weight gain, it's going to a gym versus walking outside, whatever it is. Share it in the Zurvita Pledge group so that we can encourage you and we can cheer you on and we can check in on you and help you push to that new level. And we're excited to see that. And I'm excited to see you guys at Elevate next week. That'll be really fun. And just to toss this out, since there's so much hype right now, don't forget, it is obviously flu season. And we have our Feel Good bundle that's available until next week. It has really good products in it. It comes with the Zeal H2 on the repair. They're really good to help your immune system. It's really, really important to build up your immune system and keep it really strong right now. All year round, really, but just kind of want to encourage you to take advantage of that. We have them in the canisters as well as the packs, so you can buy those and stock up. Other than that, we will see y'all next week. Some of you in person, some of you on the web, and otherwise we'll see you on social media. Bye, you guys. Have a great day.